We just call this the spinny demo, but essentially we have battery cells that have a 2D barcode and OCR text written on the code. So we're using the 3800 camera. This is a 3805C color for color to read the text. The tool we're using is our Edge Learning OCR tool. So it's pre-trained right out of the box. I just set my region and it starts reading the text. The new thing we have here, this is the Dataman 290. So this was just released, yep, at the beginning of the year. So this is just our next gen barcode reader, but this really introduces a whole new way to set it up with our web UI. So it's meant for, you don't have to install software. It's essentially just you kind of go through the web pages, set up, and then start to read barcodes with that.
Okay.
So it's highly configurable. Really, the big thing is that no software installation. You can still use our setup tool, which is what we use to set up all of our barcode readers. But really, the whole key is the web UI. So this is the L38. This is our 3D head. So it's a laser camera combination that's been factory calibrated. So what we're doing here with the battery cells is we are inspecting for dents. We're inspecting for scratches and everything else as it kind of goes through. So I'm just spinning the battery. Get in there. And then you'll see on the display, there's just a whole bunch of little dents on there. And this is using our Edge Learning segment tool. So I just kind of trained a couple of the dents to say size and what we're looking for. And then the tool then dynamically detects anything else. We also are using our cross-section tool, which is what the pink lines are. And that kind of shows you.
So the two basically have the same technology of
The cross section of it. And if you notice on these little batteries where the cap is kind of placed in there, what we can do is zoom in. You can see that's that gap in between on the top of the battery.
So that's
right
that?
Yep. So 1.8 millimeters between the surface and then where that is in the back side of that. So this is, we would tie this back into the PLC or industrial controls to then say, because obviously with batteries, any kind of little dent is a massive safety issue.
Right,
so
right.
we want to inspect everything full 360 degrees around.
So this is mainly used for battery production?
It can do anything. This is just more of a demonstration of unwrapping a cylinder. So, but we do glue inspection, right? Because that's always important now, especially for leaks. Especially in the automotive side of things.
Right.
Engine assembly, anything that has some depth with it, we can use the laser camera combination to then kind of get extra information. This is my favorite demo, of course. This is the 3801. So this is a high-speed inspection. You can see right now it says 777 parts a minute, but I slow it down so that we can actually see the vials with the caps and then the labels to make sure that they are correct. So you can kind of see there the label's kind of off kilter. Cap is kind of messed up on that one. So it's kind of important to see that. I'm also kind of showcasing some of the basic machine vision principles here because this is our torchlight. If you want to see from this side, you can see it change color. The camera itself has red, blue, green, white LEDs, which I changed the color of the LEDs with each inspection every 500 inspections. And then you can kind of see on the display some basic principles of machine vision, right? Like depending on the light color that we're using, the cap changes different color. You can see how it gets darker. Once we switch to blue, it's going to be really bright.
Right.
Just a second. And then back to red right now because it's really dark. But we're using our Edge Learning classification tools here to determine good versus bad. This is our 475 verification system. So it's meant to be in line to make sure that the barcodes you're marking are to the ISO standard. So this is our TrueCheck software to do that. So essentially what we can do, I can go live, I can move my part. verify, and you can see on the display we've got some defects and some problems with the code itself. So it's going to run in just a second, and then it's going to highlight all of those as defects and then grade it to that ISO standard as a D, which typically when you grade it that low, barcode reader is going to have problems down in the factory reading it. So anytime you mark it, you always want to verify that it's actually very readable by barcode system. So this is our low-cost vision sensor. So it's essentially just looking for good and bad. We're missing a pill. We've got one that's kind of crushed, but it's just really simple web UI, very easy to set up, very simple. Again, no software whatsoever. It's all based on the camera. And then I'm just using an HDMI box to display on the screen.